This is the SwishWire podcast.
Good afternoon, basketball people, and welcome to the SwishWire podcast. My name is Andrew, and I'm going to lead you guys on this wild ride we've got for you today. And I got to tell you, folks, we've got a great episode for you. All right, I'm joined by Justin, Scobie, and Jay, but the man y'all should really be excited about. He's an absolute bear of a ball player from Waco, Texas. He just helped his squad down a perennial power in Kansas on the way to an undefeated season. And folks, if you did not watch the game last night, I don't think they're getting knocked off anytime soon. They are powerful. All right. And I'm talking about none other than senior leader, number 31 for the Baylor Bears, Mr. Macio Teague. How you doing, Macio?
I'm great, man. How are you doing?
Excellent. Excellent. It's a good day for basketball, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So one of the first questions we got for you, all right, it is a big question. Who's a huge role model in your life? On the court, off the court?
On the court, Kobe Bryant. Just trying to keep this like Mamba mentality. You know, a lot of people say that nowadays, but definitely just trying to tap into what he tapped into, his thought process, the way he goes about his executing his personal game plan, the way he prepares for games, the way he works out his work ethic on the floor, keeping his body healthy off the floor, his sleeping habits, just all types of things. So I would say that Kobe Bryant is my biggest role model.
That's an awesome one. I mean, Kobe Bryant, he was nailing it on the court, off the court. He was a master of life itself. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's perfect. That leads me to my next question. It's I keep up with your IG and I see you're always rocking Kobe's in all your posts. Is that because Kobe's your inspiration?
Yeah, and I also like his shoes the best though. And all my basketball games, like his shoes just feel the best on my feet.
Yeah.
I like Kevin Durant's, but Kobe's feel the best.
Yeah. So it's all Nike then?
You said it's all Nike?
Yeah.
Yeah, for now it's all Nike. I mean, so but I enjoy Kobe's. When I was at Adidas and I played in Harden's and Lillard's shoe.
Mm-hmm.
I think I played in D Rose's a couple of times, but I always went back to Kobe's.
Yeah.
Have you ever rocked Jordans in a game?
Jordans in the game? Nah, I just wear those. I actually thought about it though. I got a pair of Jordans I bought to wear during the season, but I don't think I'll wear them.
Oh yeah, Jordans are like more like, you know, wearing them casually than rather in the game. I feel you.
Yeah, for sure.
But
You
you've
got
been
those statement kicks, those bright green ones. Those stand out.
Oh yeah, they right here, sitting right on the floor.
I've got the ones. Anyways, on social media, you've been open with like having a relationship with God and, you know, being religious. How has he helped you on and off the court?
He's helped me on what was that? What was the last part?
How has he helped you on and off the court?
He's helped me a lot. Just in everyday life, wake up, talk to God, just trying to build a relationship with him. And because I know that at the end of the day, that's the audience I'm playing for on the floor. It's just the audience of one. Regardless if I score 25, if I score 8, I mean, I know that God is going to be happy with me as long as I'm living my life the way he wants me to live it. So I would say that's my biggest. That's like the biggest thing I try to take on the floor with me. You know, I got the little call God hand signal, and basically that's just me like acknowledging God, bringing him on the floor, just letting everybody know that he's the reason that shot went in, or that he's just out there with me on the floor pretty much. So that's the reason I do that.
I respect that.
Incredibly well said. Speaking of relationships, we've seen on social media that you have a relationship with a star NFL wide receiver, Antonio Brown. How did that come to be? And, you know, what did he tell you?
Man, really just the call God thing. He was going through a tough time in his life. And I reached out to him and he responded to me. And I just talked to him a little bit through direct messages, things like that. And I asked him if it was okay if I did the call God thing in the game. And he was like, yeah, that's cool. Because that's really who I got it from. And yeah, he was just like really, he was like a really good guy. Like in a time of like everybody talking bad on his name, when like you never know like what somebody's going through. Like you never like people just talk about you and they don't even know you. But from a one-on-one standpoint, he was a really nice guy. He was he really helped me with my mindset. He showed me different drills that I could work on to get faster. He just talked to me about life. Just told me to keep working and stuff like that. I mean, I would say that's pretty much our relationship. A lot of support with supporting him. Glad he got the win this past Saturday. I forget when they played, but yeah, I'm glad they just got the win. But he's just a stand-up guy, and I know
you're rooting for the Bucks to win it all.
Yeah. I like Green Bay though, but I want the Bucks to win it all though, because just my guy AB on there.
I'm for the Bills.
Yeah, that sort of perseverance, that mindset is huge. And speaking of tough times, I mean, not everyone's journey is so obviously successful. You know, not everyone goes from the number 1 recruit to the top team to the top pick. There are different ways of succeeding, different journeys. And so for you, I'm always curious. You weren't a top recruit coming out of high school. You know, you prepped a year. You went to UNC Asheville. I mean, your journey is not the typical journey. What kind of motivation did it give you to have to go that other way, to not be that top recruit, to have to work for it?
It's definitely hard at times. Watching other guys get offers, and you knowing that you're better than those guys, you knowing that you don't have any offers at the time. So it was definitely hard when I was in the AAU circuit. After a game, I have like 17 points, and the coaches offered somebody else on the team. And I was happy for the guys, of course, but it was just like, dang, why am I not getting the look that I feel like I deserve? But you just got to keep your head down and keep grinding. I mean, I feel like that's a part of the reason why I like Kobe Bryant so much, because I just feel like he would have never gave up, regardless of any circumstance. Like, his mind just wouldn't allow him to give up. And I feel like I'm kind of the same way. Like, I'm relentless, I'm persevering, or I persevere through things. And I would say that was pretty much like my biggest thing. Like, I stayed prayed up the whole time. Like, I talked to God a lot throughout my time when I didn't have any offers, when I was pretty much where I felt like I was at my lowest. And now people say I'm at my highest, but I still talk to him to this day. So I just carry God with me throughout the entire process.
Mm-hmm. That's the only way you could achieve your goals, working hard, Mamba mentality. Your former high school coach, Ricardo Hill, he said, and I quote, "Macio is the ultimate student athlete. His ability to lead on and off the floor is a quality that will enable him to be successful in anything he encounters." So how much do you take pride into being a leader on the floor?
Take a lot of pride for that. Just talking to guys, just trying to be a guy who uplifts everyone on the floor, even on some of my bad days when I'm not scoring the ball. I just try to still be positive, talking to my teammates, because I feel like they feed off of me a lot. The energy wise, I feel like I'm a real big energy guy. I might not scream as much, like it's a guy named John, Everyday John, who y'all see on the floor. I might not scream as much as him, but in the locker room, I talk to guys. In the huddles, I talk to guys coming out on the floor. If like Flag last night, he missed a couple shots that went in and out, like literally went down and just came back out. And I was like, hey, keep shooting the ball. So just stuff like that. I would say I try to do things like that.
Yeah, and you've been at 2 colleges and 3 high schools. What about Baylor's culture sets it apart from everything else?
I would say the level of talent. I mean, Montbird, I was there, and it was pretty talented while I was there. But there's better players here at Baylor University. We play against better players on a nightly basis in the Big 12 conference. So I would say that definitely sets it apart. The resources that it has here at Baylor. We fly to all of our games except TCU in Texas, which is an hour and a half away. Mm-hmm. We have like top-notch facilities in the weight room. We have a great nutrition guy, Colin. We got a great trainer, Dave. Like, it's just all of these people who they surround us with to help enhance our future, help enhance us during the season. And I would say that's pretty much like the biggest difference from being at a high major Division I school to any other school that I've gone to in my life.
Yeah, you guys have been killing it so far for sure.
Undefeated.
How is the transition been from UNC Asheville to Baylor? What are some of the things you've had to adapt to on and off the floor?
The transition, it was smooth, I would say. I didn't particularly enjoy like the non-smoothest part was like the recruiting process. Like, I hated that. I hated it when I wasn't getting any offers, and I hated it when all the coaches start calling me on my transfer year. And like, that was like probably the roughest part. It was tough at times during my redshirt year when we weren't playing, but I would say like those were 2 of like the toughest parts. And what was the rest of the question? I'm sorry.
Just what are some of the biggest things you've had to adapt to in this transition? Some of the bigger changes.
Okay, one of the biggest changes is like on a nightly basis. The level of play is definitely higher in the Big 12 than it is in the Big South. You got bigs who are 6'10", 6'11" on a nightly basis. You got like the guards are bigger. In the Big South, like it was a lot of smaller guards, like 6 feet, 6'1". Sometimes it was like 5'11" guards, stuff like that. But in the Big 12, it's pretty much like 6'3". It's like 6'2" to 6'4" guards. It's always guard me. I'm always guarding the 3-man. They're like 6'7" in our conference, stuff like that. So I would say that's pretty much the biggest difference. Like I'm going against somebody who's taller than me, night in and night out.
More physically demanding for sure.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Like the people, they're just bigger. They're stronger. They're quicker. So it's just better. I would say it's better players. Not saying that there aren't good players in the Big South, because there definitely are good players that come out the Big South. We got another one on our team, Adam Flagler. But yeah, I would just say that was the biggest difference.
Yeah, I mean, that transition cannot be easy going from, a place where, like you mentioned, physically you're the biggest guard in the league probably. And if not the biggest, had to be the second biggest. 6'3", 6'4". Most of your teammates, not most, but 4 of your top 6 guys in minutes per game, you're all transfers. EJ, I think, came from UNLV. Flagler came from Presbyterian. Davion came from, I think, Auburn. What's that done for your cohesiveness as a unit to have all gone through that process, to have had that struggle? Has it brought you guys closer together?
I wouldn't say it brought us together, but I feel like at the end of the day, we all kind of had the same mindset. We're all in the gym. Adam, he came in, he felt like he had something to prove. I'm pretty sure Adam came in with the same mindset that I did. Like, he's from the Big South Conference. A lot of people may be doubting him, like he's transferring up. And I remember, like, it was some statistic last year, and I think they said that out of everybody who averaged like over 15 a game, there was only like 2 players who transferred to higher major Division I teams and averaged over 12 a game, because most players, like, their game just didn't translate to the program. So I feel like Adam Flagler, he had the same mindset that I did, and he wanted to just prove that he belonged. Davion, he didn't really play at Auburn, mainly because he was behind Jared Harper, who was averaging like 17 and 8. But yeah, he came to Baylor. I felt like he had something to prove. John, he didn't play much at UNLV. He felt like he had something to prove here. He's got a super high motor, super intense, and a really good guy. And I guess it's me. I'm the last one. But everybody just tries to play as hard as they can. Just try to play together. And I feel like us having something to prove means that we're in the gym, and us being in the gym together means that we build bonds, we form bonds with each other, and we trust each other on the floor, and that helped us develop chemistry. And after workouts, I don't, like, you guys may not know this, but after workouts, a lot of the times we just sit there and we talk. We're just talking for like 30, 40 minutes. We're just sitting there, we're just having a good time vibing. And I feel like that also helps build chemistry, and it all comes from when we're in the gym a lot of the times.
I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
Finding a home together, that's a big thing for each other.
So it's got to be a huge culture builder for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely is, being in the gym.
Especially in a year where there's so many restrictions because of, the whole pandemic, stuff like that is big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys start off every game with such high energy. How important is it to get that early lead like you did yesterday against Kansas, for example?
We just try to start off fast. Fast start every game. We never really want to play from behind, but I don't know if we trailed like many games this year. We probably have. I'm not really sure.
You've won every game by 8 or more points. That's a fun fact.
I didn't know that. That's a Coach Drew fact for you. Coach Drew and Coach Jacobs would definitely know some numbers like that. But I mean, that's good that we've won every game by 8 or more. But we just try to keep our foot on the gas the entire time for 40 minutes. Just trying to play together and play for each other.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That again comes to it shows on the court when you guys are so in sync with each other. And I mean, all the metrics say that Baylor has a top defense, but really watching your games, you guys have some of the best reactions in scramble situations in college basketball that I think I've seen in years.
Yeah.
What does Coach Drew have you guys doing in practice that builds those kind of habits together?
They put us in situations like that. I don't think I should spill the secret on how we develop these habits, but we watch a lot of film and how we can react to things better. Our coaches do a lot of research. They call a lot of people on how to get our defense better. Coach Tang is always mad. He's basically like our defensive coordinator. I mean, all the coaches work together, but Coach Tang is always mad about the defense. I remember some team had like 24 points at the half, and Coach Tang came in the locker. He came in mad. He just came in pouting at halftime. And we're like, look at him. And Coach Tang was just mad. So it's never really good enough. And I feel like that mindset that he has helps us keep evolving on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, you get 24 possessions perfect on the defensive end, but you missed that 25th one. Your coach is gonna remember it.
Oh yeah, Coach Tang, he's definitely gonna remember that. He'll show me. I got beat driving middle the last night by I forget his number, but I think it was Jalen Wilson who beat me driving middle, and that'll be on film on Thursday when we have practice for sure.
For sure. As I say, defense wins championships, and you guys are obviously an early favorite. You're 13-0 right now. But focusing on the other side of the floor, last night, Jared Butler, he was hot. He had 30 points on 74% from the field.
Yeah, he shot 74?
Yeah, and 78% from three, too. But when you see someone on fire like he was last night, do you guys start calling plays to get him even more looks, or do you just go about your business?
I would say he has the ball in his hand a lot. I mean, he calls up the ball screen. Definitely, if he's filling in Coach Drew on the sideline, he's definitely he's got a long leash, so he's good with shooting, especially when you get hot like that. Coach Drew definitely really won't say anything to you. I took a couple heat checks this year, and Coach Drew didn't say anything about it. I think the next day on film, he was just like, just shoot it quicker, something like that. But yeah, I feel like Coach Drew, he doesn't really call the plays. Like, well, he does call the plays, but on the floor, if we saw Jared's made a couple shots, then we're going back to him. Like Coach Drew, he might call something for me. Go back to Jared. Like I got hot to say they call something, and Jared was like, nah, run it for Macio, like something like that. As a matter of fact, we played against TCU, and it was late. It was my first bucket of the game, matter of fact, and it probably came with 13 minutes to go in the second half, and Jared was he was cooking that game. Coach Drew was like, run this play for Jared, and Jared was like, nah, run it for Mace. He said we got to get him going. So like just stuff like that. So I feel like him doing stuff like that gives Coach Drew the trust in him to basically run the offense between him and Davion. But we definitely just tried to keep finding Jared. Last night he got hot, got going really early, and he definitely had a standout game.
And it's also great to hear that Jared, when you said he's like, run it for Macio. No, it's great to hear that because you don't want anyone who's selfish, and that's probably, something that you guys are trying to build, unselfishness. That's probably why a huge reason why you guys are 13-0 right now.
Yeah, for sure. We try to play for each other.
You guys definitely play as a team when I'm watching. That's part of your culture. It seems like you guys are always happy for each other.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's definitely a part of the culture, big part of our culture. And I don't know, we just try to spread the love. Like everybody can eat, basically. Somebody can have 20 one night, next person can have 20 another night. It's room for everybody to eat, and we just got to keep winning. Everybody will be happy in the end.
It's fun to watch. Speaking of that big win last night, this Saturday, you've got Oklahoma State coming up. With Cade Cunningham, who many call the best prospect in college basketball right now. There's going to be a lot of eyes on this game. It's a big one. How do you prepare differently, for a team led by a star as opposed to a team led by committee?
I don't know. Maybe it'll be like Illinois. They had a star on their team, and I don't even know how you say his name. I'm gonna be honest. Their point guard, number 11, he's 6'5". He's really good though, so I hope he doesn't take offense to that. Their big man Kofi, he's pretty good too. But I would say like we played teams like that before. But I mean, it's not just him though. Like I watched them play against Kansas the other night, and their team was doing really well. I think Avery Anderson played well. I haven't looked at the scout yet, so I don't really know their guys' names. Number 14 played well. They have a lot of players on their team. Like it's not just Cade. Like I know that everybody like views it as Cade and Oklahoma State, but like they got like players on their team who are actually good as well. They got Isaac Likely. He's pretty good too. Like he might be taking like a like a backseat to Cade, but I mean, he's really good.
Yeah, he can definitely compete. So I'm curious. You guys, you've dropped 112 points in a game this year. You've held an opponent to 42 points in a game. What do you consider yourselves? Are you guys a defensive team that can score the ball, or are you an offensive team that can get stops? I'm curious where you guys make your money at in your mind.
We play defense. Defense travels. So I would say that's the biggest thing. Defense travels. We had games where really last night, Jarrett might have been the only one who made shots last night. Cause I don't think I made a three. I don't think Flag made a three. I don't know. I think Davion, matter of fact, I remember Davion hitting 2 threes actually. Yeah, I don't know if Matt had a prolific game like he usually does. It wasn't. I think Jarrett was really the only one that was making shots. Now that I think about it, but so yeah, at the end of the day, our defense traveled, or our defense, we're at home, but our defense definitely stood out during the game. Like you guys mentioned it last night. I just saw a clip on Twitter. Somebody sent it to me. It was us playing defense and flying around. But yeah, so I would say we're a defensive-minded team.
Yeah, it all starts on defense. Everything stems from there.
That's a fact.
Yeah. And last year you guys had the same sort of identity. You guys were stout defensively. What did it mean to you guys with the shutdown? I mean, you guys were on track to be possibly the last team standing when it was all said and done. Does something like that make you guys extra hungry this year? Knowing what might have been.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. At the end of the day, it's over. It's like the tournament last year. It's over. It's no what ifs. What could have been. It just didn't happen. If the word if is a lot of it's just a lot of uncertainty in the word if, and I mean the tournament just didn't happen. It got shut down because of the pandemic, and I mean we're on to the next year. We're up to a hot start right now. We just gotta stay focused for the next, whenever the national championship game is, but for the next game coming up.
Yeah, you can't keep living in the past. You gotta look forward. I mean, this is all you got now.
Yeah, this brings me to my next question. It's what players would you say you model your game after, whether it's retired players, like you said, Kobe Bryant mentally, or guys in the league now? Who do you look at and try and match their game? And who would you compare yourself to if you had to pick one guy?
I wouldn't necessarily say I model my game after anybody. When I was younger, I would think stuff like that. But as I gotten older and play at UNC Asheville, I think I play way different than what I play now, because I just don't have the ball in my hand as much as I did at Asheville. So I would definitely say that if I had to take pieces of guys' games, I do. But who do I think I play like right now? Probably Seth Curry, Gary Harris, one of those two guys, somebody like that. Maybe Landry Shamet type of guy. One of those three.
Yeah, Seth is having a really good year this year in Philly. Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Seth can get buckets, but can get stops too. I like it. It's a good comparison.
An underrated basketball player, actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one of my favorites.
Is he really?
Yeah, for real. I'm always watching him. I think the progression with his handle and his shot creation over the last couple of years has been big.
Yeah.
I mean, he makes a big impact everywhere he goes.
Yeah, facts. He's nice. He's really good at basketball, actually.
And once he makes one, you know it's just going to keep coming. Yeah.
That hoop is huge when he makes that first one.
Yeah.
And speaking of what player you model your game after, you've obviously played against a lot of great players. Whether it's an open gym run, high school or college game, or an AAU game, who is the best player you've ever played against?
Best player. The best player. Oh, yeah, it definitely have to be him. Jason Tatum. Yeah, I played against Tatum in high school. I think he's a year younger than us too, and he was me personally. I remember I used to watch a lot of players, and we used to play against players, and I don't think a lot of people are good. I'm he's decent. He doesn't do anything great, but I remember coming from the games every single time we play, I'm he's nice. He's nice. The top 25 players, I used to look at him he's all right. He's just big. He's just athletic. He's okay. I used to look at Tatum, and I used to be he's nice. Mm-hmm. He's really good. Jason Tatum, he's probably one. But number two, it might be Chris Clemens.
Clemens.
You played him in the Big South?
What was that?
You played against him in the Big South?
Yeah, when he was at Campbell. He was nice. Like he was really like and he might have been the hardest person for me to guard ever in my life.
Clemens obviously like he's small, but he uses his size and speed to his advantage, so he's like really hard to guard.
Yeah, he shoots his pull-ups. Like he shoots them off the bounce all the time. He shoots them from like if you're in a high school gym, he's shooting at the volleyball line, like in between like half court. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He shoots them like right there. That's where he shoots his pull-ups. He spots up right there. Then he does like the hezzy pull-up, and then he'll do the hezzy and just blow by you. So he's like really he's a tough cover.
Yeah.
He's gonna rebound well from that injury too, because that shooting stroke isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hopefully he comes back like KD's came back from his Achilles.
Oh, he's been killing it so far this year, KD has.
Better than ever.
KD is
Fantasy.
amazing.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. Well, speaking of guys you played against, what other NBA guys have you had the opportunity to work with, and how have they influenced your game?
To work with. Not many NBA guys. I guess I work with he's not in the league anymore, but I work with Macio Teague. He played with OKC for a couple years.
Xavier boy, right?
Yeah. What was that?
He's a Xavier boy, right? He came out of Xavier?
Yeah, Xavier boy. I work with Royce O'Neal. He showed me some stuff. And that's actually been like the biggest mentor of mine, probably. Royce O'Neal, he's like talked to me about basketball on the court, off the court, agents, going back to school. If I came out of school, what to look for, like he's like actually been like the biggest like influence to me in my like decision making and stuff like that. Just because, and like I'm probably like the best person, like the best player that I personally know. So like I can't really reach out to many people like to ask them about their experiences. But so Royce, like it really meant a lot for him to reach out to me and just tell him to hit me up if I had any questions and stuff like that. I mean, like he sent lengthy messages, like we talked on FaceTime, talked in person, stuff like that. And I would say that he's been a really big influence for me.
You know, I love what you just said. You're the best player you know. I mean, I think that's not just confidence. I think that's a heck of a mindset to have.
Yeah.
And I'm always curious. I mean, every ball player, whether it's at 10 or 15, they have, I feel like, this moment where something happens, whether it's in a game or an award or practice or something, where you know you're legit. You know you can hang with anybody. I'm curious, when was that moment for you?
I honestly, that's a hard question for me. I just felt like I could play regardless. Anytime when I was in AAU circuits, I felt like I could play with the guys when I was out there. We had top recruits on our team, top recruits played against like some of the best recruits on other team. And I never really had a problem like scoring the basketball. When I transferred to Baylor, my first week here, I was playing really, really well my first week. And but I would say when I thought I could play in the Big 12, I thought I could play my first week here. But then during the practice time in October, my redshirt year, it's one of like the tough parts. I didn't really practice much. I mean, we had a lot of new guys on the team, and they were trying to build chemistry and stuff like that. So I really didn't practice. Like we had scrimmages, inter-squad scrimmages, and we play 40 minutes, and I would play like 3 minutes of the 40. I'm like, yo, what am I doing here? Like, why did I come here? Like, that's really what I was thinking to myself. Why did I even choose to come to this school? Like, I'm not even getting to practice. And but then we started doing like scout team and stuff like that. And I was like the best. Like, so say we played against Texas Tech, and I was Jared Colbert. Well, I would always have a really, really good day. Like when I was like the other team's like best player, like it was like I would have a really, really good day. And I would say maybe that's when I knew that I was gonna like pan out going into the next season.
That must have killed guys whenever they had to go up against you on the practice squad and you were on the scout team. I mean, coach is just worried about them getting a stop and you're just getting buckets on them. That's got to drive guys crazy.
Yeah, Coach Drew used to never want to end practice at least. We winning because it was like you got to think about it. It was me, Jackson Moffitt, who's a walk-on, Obama KK, who's a walk-on, and it was Davion Mitchell and Freddie Gillespie. Like, and Freddie ended up starting halfway through the season. So, like, and Freddie, I don't know if he got a two-way. No, I actually don't think he did, but he was really close to getting a two-way last year. But so yeah, it was us three starters for the Baylor men's team playing against those guys, and a lot of the times, like, well, I won't say that on the air, but yeah, we won a lot of the time. So.
Yeah,
That's
so
great.
you've obviously been around the game for a long time. Who or what got you into the sport of basketball?
My parents hoop. My brothers hoop. My brother hoop. My sister, she played basketball. But my parents, they really enjoy the game. When you're at the crib, when I'm at the crib, it's always a game going on. And yeah, so I mean, it's just a basketball vibe in the house. Like my mom likes to watch basketball games. She's always wanted watching sports and stuff like that. She's not really that big into football, but if it's basketball on, then she wants to watch.
No, that's great. What aspect of your game do you see transferring to the pros, the best?
Shooting the basketball, I feel like I can defend the ball better than what people expect. Better than what people give me credit for and stuff like that. But I really feel like I can defend the basketball. I think I got a high IQ as well, and just put me in situations. I feel like the guys I said earlier who I compare my game to, those are all second side guys, and a lot of teams play off of dribble handoffs, which is second side. And I feel like I can prosper in those type of situations.
You think, in coming to Baylor and playing against more physical guys that helps you prepare defensively for the next level?
Yeah, for sure. Not only just playing against physical guys, but we got a top-notch strength coach in Charlie Melton. Coach Charlie, he does a great job with this, taking care of our bodies, helping us maintain strength during the season, and just all the credit goes to those guys and what they've done for me while I've been here.
You do have a lot of aspects that will transfer to the pros, especially shooting, which we're seeing every year. It's becoming more and more important. Plus, as you said, you think you're a great defender, and you've been a great help defender in college. And overall, you don't need the ball in your hands. You're a great cutter. You always relocate. So you have a lot of things that are going to transfer right away.
Yeah, I agree. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, coaches should be very happy if they get you on there as one of their rookies.
Oh yeah, this man's gonna be in the league for sure. He deserves it.
My man.
100%. I know there's a lot of these guys who have NBA affiliations on here. I'm sure they'd love to see you wearing one of their team's jerseys.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So you've answered all our questions that we have for you personally. We got a couple training questions, a couple fan questions that we'd love to throw your way. Justin, I think you have one for him.
Yeah. So with the first fan question, we've got a question from Christian Rowe. He wants to know if you're aware that your team is 10-2 against the spread, and you have won him untold riches.
No, I'm not aware of that. But I don't really look into that stuff. But I did see the online last night that I think that we lost. I think something like that. I don't really know. I don't really know how it works. But I think we lost there. We won the game, but we lost. I don't really know how it works. But
that last three, I think killed the spread.
So explain that to me. What does that mean? Like, because I see people talking about it all the time. What does that mean?
So it's like, I mean, you guys probably can explain it better, but I think basically if like it's Baylor -6, what that means is that Baylor's going to win by at least 6 points. Is that kind of how it works, boys?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't bet, but like I know the terms and everything. Not only are you guys killing it on the floor, you're killing it for the bettors. You're making people money.
Yeah. You're one of the surest bets out there.
We ain't seen the dollar over chat, man. Man.
We have one more fan submitted question. This one comes from Jonathan Middleton. So shout out to you. He's asking if you can take us through some of your clutch shots against Kansas last February. You had some big shots down the stretch.
I guess I only hit one. No, I literally only hit one. We're near inbounding the ball. We got a steal. Jared threw it to Mark. Mark went up and under for the lay. It was heavily contested. He ended up missing it. Freddie got the rebound and like literally rolled the ball out to me. And I picked it off the ground as Ibuki closed out and I hit a three. And that put us down 1. But we ended up losing the game, so shot couldn't have been that big. But I guess that was a big moment in the fans' eyes.
Yeah.
Totally.
All right.
Now we're going to segue into some NBA questions. What was your favorite team as a kid growing up?
I didn't really have one. I like players.
You like Kobe? You like Kobe?
Yeah. You see him back there on the wall.
Yeah, I see him on the wall.
I see the Bengals too.
Yeah, the Bengals. That's my team right there. The Cincinnati Bengals. We had a rough year again, but we'll be back next year.
Joe Ball.
Yeah, hopefully he's healthy, man. Hopefully we get somebody to protect the guy.
Yeah.
For sure.
But who was my favorite team growing up? I wouldn't say I had one, but I like Kobe. I used to like Vince Carter a lot. I had like a fat head of him in my room, like I had a jersey. I like Melo. Wow, I'm forgetting somebody who I like, but I don't know why I slipped my. I used to really like Rashard Lewis too, growing
That's a
up.
good one.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Seattle days or the Orlando days? Which Rashard Lewis did you like?
Orlando days.
Which one?
Orlando.
Orlando.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So my question for you is, who would you say is the GOAT? If you had to say one guy.
The people argue that stuff all the time. I really don't get into the argument, but I would say my favorite player all the time is Kobe, like the GOAT. I don't really know. I mean, it's like people are gonna argue stats, like they'll say that Michael Jordan is the best of all time, but somebody might say that. Like I don't know. Everybody has their opinion, and it's like an argument that can't be won in my eyes. Like some people are gonna argue stats, some people argue rings. Like there's like flaws in every single argument that you could give. So I just like to watch the game of basketball and enjoy people's greatness.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
great-
fair. That's fair.
Yeah, that's a great outlook. Let's segue into some training questions. Obviously, as we've discussed, one of your best traits, if not your best trait, is your shooting ability. What is your shooting routine?
I show up. It just varies on the day. I just try to put myself in situations where, like if we watch a scout, and I know that like the opposite side will be open, I'll shoot a lot of shots like off of a cross court pass. So it really varies on what the defense is doing and where I think I'll get my shots coming into that game, like how they guard down screens. If I know that they go over, I might work on a lot of flares that 2 or 3 days before the game. So I just get up a lot of shots based on the way that I know the defense is guard me. And I know that if that's like a high school kid asking that question, they might not know how teams guard because like they don't have as much film. But that's definitely what I do just because teams don't change their defensive principles too much. Like if they're doing that on defense, they practiced it from not this year because of the pandemic, but most times teams show up and start practicing in June. And you might play them, if it's a conference game, you're playing them in January. They're not going to just change 6 months of practice for one game, you know what I mean? So I just try to put myself in situations where I will see how the defenses guard me.
That's great. So it's not just sitting there in the gym, form shooting. It's you're coming off flare screens, you're coming off down screens, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, coming off down screens. Sometimes if I know they help in a lot, I'll just have somebody stand at the between the 3-point line and the free throw line and pass the ball like towards like a backwards angle when I'm stepping in the threes at the top X, stuff like that, just different situations.
And that brings us back to when we asked about Cade as well. We said that, he's kind of their star, but I guess with what you're saying right there, you guys aren't going to have a different approach when you play them. You're going to just go about it the same way on defense.
Yeah, for sure. We might throw a wrinkle at them here and there just to throw them off, but we won't change all of our defensive principles because of him.
Yeah. And obviously, you said it earlier, the best part of your game and the one that will transition over the most is shooting. What other parts of your game do you feel are underrated and that will also transition well to the pros? Would that be your defense or your off-ball play?
I would say probably my mid-range, honestly. I know like in the NBA, they don't shoot a lot of mid-range, but you see guys like, I mean, he's actually a star though, so that's tough. But Steph Curry shoots them all the time. He shoots floaters. Like I shoot floaters, I think, with the best of them. And that's just a really easy shot for me to make, getting the ball up on the rim, a lot of like a soft touch around the rim. And I just feel like floaters are very useful. And at the end of the day, if you go in there and you make 55% of them, 1.1 points per possession, then that's like you're shooting almost 40 from three, and sometimes 3 ball in the open. So yeah, I just feel like me coming off of a down screen, and then the bigs are so big, all of the bigs just back up to, like they're just trying to be really big and cover space. They just flash show and keep backing up, and you either got a lob or a float, and I feel like I'm capable of making that read between a lob and a float. So I feel like that'll translate to the NBA.
Yeah, that's like DeMar DeRozan. He's always been a mid-range guy, and even though he's adapted more of a three-point shot this year, he never backs away from taking that mid-range shot. That's always been kind of the key part of his game.
Yeah, it's like the boy from Kentucky too. What's his name? Who's he play for? He got drafted this year.
Tyrese Maxey?
Nah. Emmanuel Quickly. He should.
On the Knicks.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
got
Yeah.
down to the finest detail.
Yeah, he shoots a lot of floaters. So I feel like I can, in the same way he comes off of like a pitch action, gets the ball back and puts his man behind him. So now it's just him and the big, and he's making a read if the big steps up, or if the big is too low, then he's shooting a float. And I feel like I got that in my game a lot.
Mm-hmm. You've obviously got
that's a huge thing for guys now. I mean, it was a pivotal part of the game 30 years ago, that mid-range kind of game. And then the emphasis started going on to three-pointers and dunks. Now it's almost underrated again how important it is. People are running guys off the three-point line. Got to be able to finish in the mid-range if you can't get it over a big.
Yeah, you look at guys like CJ McCollum. He plays in the mid-range a lot, but I mean, he averages 24 reasons. His bag is crazy, and so yeah, you look at guys like that, and they'll get it done in the mid-range a lot. CJ shoots a lot of mid-range. Like sometimes he gets hot from three, but if you really watch him, he gets to a lot of mid-range pull-ups, stuff like that. Shoots floaters, super crafty at getting his shot off. And yeah, I mean, those guys have a lot more freedom than the average NBA guy, though. But yeah, he said that the game is one of the blocks and elbows. Like I would think when he was playing Denver, and he had a game winner against Denver in the playoffs. It was probably 2 years ago. It was on the left elbow. He had to do it the same foot stop, pull up at the elbow. And I think after the game, he said something or maybe tweeted that the game is won like in the mid range. So.
CJ not having an all-star nod to his name at this point is criminal. You know, he's one of the most underrated guys in the league for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Was Bradley Beal an all-star? Or has he been one yet?
Last year too.
He got snubbed last year, but he's made it a couple times.
Oh, okay, he made it a couple times. But
I think he's at one. I'm not completely sure, but as you said, you have a lot of aspects in your game that will translate, and you were just talking about the mid range with guys like CJ McCollum, DeMar DeRozan, even sometimes like Chris Paul. But what is one piece of advice that someone has told you before that could benefit someone else from hearing?
Man, I would probably say it's man, what did he say? He texted to me. He just told me keep going. It was Royce. He was like, "You never know where your journey will take you, but just keep going." That was basically what he was saying. But the way he said it was better. Man, I really wish I knew it word for word. But he was just basically saying that regardless of like where your outcome or like where you're going. Like when I was in high school, I could have gave up when I didn't have any offers. When I was in Mount Vernon, when I only had like one offer. Actually, I lied. I had an offer to UNC Asheville, and then I went to Mount Vernon, and I only had an offer to UNC Asheville. And yeah, I could have like gave up. Like I could have like lost hope and stuff like that. But you never know where your journey will take you. You never know like why certain doors are closing, and things like that. So I would definitely say that was one of the best pieces of advice because just to keep going. You never know where your journey will take you, but maybe you'll come back around and get to the place that you want to be. And let me say something real quick. When I committed to UNC Asheville, I didn't even see a point in me going there because they had Dylan Smith. He averaged like 13.5 a game. He was a freshman. And then it was Dwayne Sutton, who also averaged like 13. Like they averaged like 13.5 and like 13.9. Like one of them averaged like 14. They both played like 33 minutes a game, like over 30 a game. And like that was my only offer. So I'm like, dang, you got to go to this school. Like you don't have any other option. And so I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm gonna go here. So I committed. Those two were on the team. And those were like, they had Ahmad coming back. They had Kevin Bonetta coming back. Basically, they had their whole team coming back. Like all 5 of the players who just won the Big South Championship were coming back. They played like 30-something minutes a game. So I'm like, bro, there's literally no way I'm about to get ever into the rotation. And I just committed there, and because it was my only option. But I feel like God opened the door for me because Dwayne transferred to Louisville, Dylan transferred to Arizona, like the year that I committed. So that's 60. That's like 68 minutes that just opened up for me right there that I can go in and like prove myself. So at the end of the day, you never know like why you're in a certain position, but like I feel like everything.
Yeah, that's I love that idea, that keep grinding. Like success is not a one track,
Yeah.
one path. There's multiple ways to get through it. I mean, you like you said, it worked out perfectly for you. You were the Big South Freshman of the Year. You were first team both years, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, success, it's different for everybody.
Mhm.
And everyone's got to get to it their own way. I'm curious, you've been a sniper since your high school days, but we talked about how you've really rounded out your game, your offensive game especially, but your entire game. What part of your game was the hardest for you to develop? What took you the longest to really master?
Probably me driving left, honestly. Like I couldn't going into this year, or no, going into last year. Like I couldn't make a left hand like floater like with this. Like if you watch a lot of like that might sound like a slight towards me, but if you watch like a lot of NBA players, like they never use their offhand like shooting the ball like overhand. Like you watch Harden, he really never uses his right hand unless it's like underhand like that. Because I guess it's just easier to control. Because this underhand is definitely easier for me to shoot going left. But yeah, like I would say that was definitely probably the hardest. I ended up breaking my wrist, so my left hand was out. So now I can like shoot them overhand. Like I can drive left. I remember one time specifically last year we were playing TCU. I don't know the kid's name, Farabello or something like that. I might have butchered his name, but number 3 for TCU. I had to drive left, and I saw Kevin Samuels down there, and I didn't think I was going to be able to get to my underhand. So I ended up settling for a mid-range shot. It was super contested, and I airballed it. And I remember thinking, like, bro, you got to be able to go left and finish overhand. But I can do that now. So, like, I would say that was probably one of the hardest things. Like, I don't think I've made a left-hand float in a while, but I know that it's in my bag. Like, if I had to use it, it got blocked last night, my light foot. But when it left my hand, I was like, oh, that's good. Like, as soon as it left my hand, it just got to it before he could get to the rim. But I definitely had that in my game. So I would say that was probably one of the hardest things for me to develop was left-hand flow, left-hand finish.
Yeah, we've seen over the pandemic that it can be very limiting to some people, but your game, I feel like, has taken another step since last year. What have you done through the quarantine to still put yourself in a position to better succeed and forward your game?
I worked on my legs a lot. Like a lot of the times the gym wasn't open, I worked on my agility. I worked on like my strength of my legs, worked on my explosiveness. Like last year, I didn't dunk the ball. My freshman and sophomore year, I had one dunk each year. I missed the dunk my sophomore year. I got fouled, but at the end of the day, I missed it. And it was because like I was like tired when I was running on the fast break, and I had to slow down. I've had 4 dunks in our 13 games this year, and I would say like my legs are like really strong. Just developed the strength of my legs. So I would say that and my left hand was one of the 2 things. And my mind, where it was also like the things that I worked on throughout the quarantine time.
Yeah, you had a dunk last night, if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure you had a dunk last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's one of the huge things. Like quarantine has been, I think a lot of people have used it as an excuse, but really it's unfiltered time where, a lot of stuff that usually takes up your days out of the way now. I think a lot of people either got better or got worse.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think many people stay the same, or it was either you're getting better or you're getting worse. And I just try to take that time to just enhance my game, enhance myself as a person, just become an all-around better person, and learned a lot about myself throughout the pandemic. I had a lot of time to think, and the time was just slower, and it just I don't know. I had a lot of time to self-reflect in ways I wanted to get better on the court, off the court, as a person, as an individual, and I feel like that quarantine time was definitely needed. But I shouldn't say needed, but it was definitely helpful.
You had like 3 months to yourself, you couldn't really go many places. So like, if you're not putting in the work, like you're going to fall behind, and the people that are putting in the work, they're just going to keep climbing up the ladder. So, I mean, for you to keep getting better throughout the quarantine and realizing things about yourself, that's, making you a step ahead of some other guys that slack.
Yeah.
It really speaks to your work ethic. One thing I wanted to ask is, you declared for the draft last year, and then you withdrew and decided to come back to Baylor. What played into that decision?
I just felt like it would be better for my future if I came back. I didn't really get a chance to showcase what I could do. In the NCAA tournament, my wrist was broken at the time. Just felt like it might have been best for me to come back because I wouldn't have, like, if there were no workouts and stuff like that, but I would have gotten red flagged by the NBA teams just because I had a cast on my wrist. And I wasn't really healthy. Like, I didn't, like, it was actually tough for me this summer because, like, I wanted to work on a couple of things and I couldn't because my wrist was in a cast. My hand was in a cast, and I didn't really come out. Like, I was out the cast in August, but like I wasn't really healthy until like the middle of September. So it really felt like I like had a lot of time that just got taken away from me. And it was actually tough for me in that aspect.
Well, Macio, I got to say, man, this was a blast.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we learned a ton about you, about your game, about how you cultivate every single part of it. You know, from what's been driving you to what's been helping you along. Like you mentioned, some of the NBA guys, your high school coaches. I know that we appreciate your presence. I think I'd speak for all these guys when I say we wish you the best of luck going forward. We know you got big things coming up, not just with the rest of this college year, but in your individual career as well. You have a bright future, man, and we are all looking forward to seeing how it develops.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you all for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
No problem.
Appreciate it, man. Best of luck.